Hi everybody, it's good to be here tonight for a new testimony. Like I said before, and I don't want to sound like a broken record either, I've realized that a lot lately. Uh, just repeating the same thing over and over and over again and not even realizing it until just now. It's funny how that happens at times. It, it really is. Um, I want to talk a little more about nonprofit organizations, especially across Stark County, Ohio. Um, the more that I get involved with uh, the rescue pets and, finding homes uh, for these animals, for dogs, cats, kittens, puppies, there's just, they need, they need a forever home. And I've heard a lot of stories from two of the events that I've attended already, how some of these animals were mistreated before they were taken in by these nonprofit rescue shelters. It just, I don't want to say it breaks my heart, but it touches my heart to the point where, oh my goodness, why would anybody want to mistreat an animal like that? That's just horrible, and it does. It really just, it leaves an impact on you, and you want to do more to help them in that way. And the one that I've been, helping spread the word more on this one particular rescue is Paul Crazy Rescue. And they're just a wonderful group of women who have come together and have been able to find forever homes for these animals, for these dogs and these cats. And it just, like I say, it touches my heart knowing that, that they're doing this. And I'm doing every bit that I could possibly can too, to be there for these animals and showing that appreciation and that love for these animals. It means a lot to me because for the simple fact is that we have taken in 2 strays cats just in the last, I'd say 3-4 years, maybe 5 years at the most. I'm not sure exactly, but our first cat that we had gotten, she was a stray. We believe she was an older cat when we found her, and we had named her Zoe because at first we thought she was a boy, and we were calling her Zeke. And then, like, oh, her name's Zoe, and I ended up naming her. And at first she was very skittish, and she didn't really want to come to you. And then after a while, she got really used to us. And she was a blue Russian, and she was the sweetest, most laid-back cat. I mean, you could pet her and just hold her, and she would just sit there in your arms, and it was just the most beautiful thing. We no longer have her. She's in a better place now, and sometimes I get teary-eyed that she's no longer with us. But yeah, that was one of our first strays that we took in. And then just last year, last year, a black male showed up at our doorstep. And again, he was the most laid back, friendliest cat, and we ended up naming him Buddy. And he is a traveling gypsy. We call him the traveling gypsy. He comes around when he wants to come around, but he's always on the move, always on the go. Some days he's gone for like 3 days, and then he comes back. So that's why we call him the traveling gypsy boy, because he's always going off on his own and just doing his thing. But he's the most laid back and friendly, and just loves getting his belly rubbed. It's just, he's just an easygoing, lovable cat. So we've had him for a year. But then previously before that, a tuxedo cat showed up at our doorstep. And we believe she belonged to someone, and that person just didn't want her. And at first we thought it was a boy, and it wasn't, because she was actually pregnant. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So this was roughly about 2.5 years ago. And excuse me. We excuse me, goodness. We ended up calling, my goodness, allergies. Sorry about that. We ended up calling her Chloe, or naming her Chloe. And when she had her babies, we went to a nonprofit rescue shelter to find homes for her 4 kittens. Well, one of those 4 kittens did not want to be adopted. And she was a very vocal kitten from the time she was born. And I'm like, oh, I know the name for this kitten. Reba. She's very vocal. Very vocal. She talks back. She's sassy. She's feisty. She's very spunky. She loves to get her way. But sometimes she can be a real diva. And what's funny about it is that we ended up keeping her. And she's more like my cat, because she comes to me the most. And she likes to come to me, and she loves me to pet her and brush her hair and, say I love you to her and just fondle with her a little bit, even though she's very, diva-like in that way. She doesn't like to be touched all the time. She wants to be touched when she wants to be touched. But, if you visit my Facebook page or my Instagram page or even my Twitter sometimes, you'll see random pictures of her put up. And everybody has commented on how beautiful she is, because she's a tuxedo. She's got 2 little white horns that stick out of her head. And then her lips are white. Part of her mouth is white. So it looks like she's got a milk mustache. But she's a beautiful cat. And she's just really something. She runs the house. And yeah, she ended up staying in our home. So she's more like an adopted. We adopted her. But yeah, when it comes to animals who have been mistreated and end up getting taken in by these rescue shelters, I do whatever I could possibly do to be that voice on the other end for nonprofits across Stark County. And I'm getting to know a little more on some other nonprofit organizations that take in these animals and find forever homes for them. And it's just a very gratifying feeling to know that you're able to help somebody out in that way. It really is. It's very gratifying to me to know that I'm able to be there and help in any way I possibly can, when I can. And it's just something that's always been a part of me. I love animals, as you have heard in my little stories here, or my testimony basically. And it's just wonderful. And I've been to 2 events already. One was recent, very recent. It was called Pet Palooza, and it was in Hartville, where I'm from, at the Hartville Hardware store. And it was just a wonderful experience, and hearing a lot about these animals and where they came from, and the lovingness that that is shown in these people who are so passionate about these animals and wanting to find them those homes for them. It really is. It's such a beautiful feeling. And it's like I say, it touches my heart knowing that I'm able to be at these events and be there for them in that way. And I have donated already to help Paw Crazy Rescue. I have donated some items to them, and they were very appreciative of that. I continue to do whatever I possibly can for rescue shelters across Stark County, Ohio. So that's pretty much my testimony for you folks. If you're activism and active in any kind of nonprofit organization, I give you a lot of credit for that because your heart's in the right place. And I know other people appreciate that about you. And it does. Kindness goes a long way. It really does, because there isn't so much of that anymore. But you do see it on occasion. So that's pretty much it tonight. I always appreciate folks who come in and watch my testimonies. There's 2 previous seasons of my True Colors. So if you haven't had the chance to see them yet, they are here on the YouTube channel here. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend and a brand new week. So I'll see you all again.